All right, let's blow stuff up. Over what? Never heard of it, used it. It's what I'm used to, if that makes sense. All right. I've already done this, and so I will demonstrate what we're doing, just because it's also fun to play. And then we'll start over and I'll make a new grenade and we'll walk through all the process. So here's what we're doing today. I went ahead and hid my gun. Come on, Unity, get with it. All right, let's scale this up. So I'm holding this grenade. Apparently, OBS is eating my audio. I've got background music and sounds and stuff. And so on fire now, I tossed this guy, very similar to the way that we were launching bullets, but with less force and up at an angle. And so I tossed that over there, and then it goes boom. Yeah! Yeah, that's fun. Okay, I got to do it. Just one more. Let's blow these up. Oh, it wasn't close enough. Get in there. Okay. All right, so that's what we're working on. Got that guy. So this is a copy of my controller. I'll bring in the one that we had Tuesday. So we're starting from where we were there. All right, so we got that guy. He works. The more stuff you can stack up and just knock down is the better. All right. So first thing I need to do is pick a grenade and hide my current weapon. So I've got this sci-fi plasma rifle sitting here in my arsenal. You'll need to write some code to switch these out like we've done before. Hit the tab key or some numbers, swap your weapons. But for now, I'm just going to hide this, and we're going to give this guy a grenade. So I use the sci-fi weapons arsenal here. And I already used this flame grenade, so I'm just going to use this flash grenade now for this run. So I'm going to go ahead and drag this up here and make it a child of the first-person camera. And I'm actually going to cheat a little bit. And so my rifle, wherever that's at, I'm going to copy its transform. So up here, right-click on the dots, copy position, all of it. So I'll copy the whole component. Scaling and rotation and everything, and then on the flash grenade, right click and paste component values, and now that grenade is being held out at the same spot that the gun was. See my game view of just walking around very VeggieTales style with no arms, if VeggieTales were using flash grenades. I mean, it happens. All right, so that's in my hand, which is great. And I'm going to use this as just kind of like, this is what the weapon I've got selected. So it's just always going to be there unless I tell it to go away. And so I'll put the script on this for throwing the grenade. So I'm going to add a component, do a new script, throw grenade. And I'm just going to set this up like it's its own weapon. So I'm putting my gun away to get the grenade out. You could set this up to be a secondary, like, left-hand weapon or whatever. So you can have your gun also hit like some other button besides fire to just toss a grenade. I think Halo does it that way. All right, so I've got my throw grenade script, and away we go. Usually I delete all this stuff, but I'm actually going to need collections here in a little bit. So I'm just going to get rid of collections generic. And we'll start with a whole list of variables. So first I'm going to need a grenade to throw. So I'm just going to make that public instead of the serialized field game object. grenade to throw. And then I need a position to toss it from, so I'll do that. So public transform toss origin, throw origin, something like that, just an origin point. I'll come back and do some, oh, that's funny. I love it when Visual Studio tries to help. And just so I can't spam the key and throw billions of grenades at once, even though that might be fun, I'm going to give us a fire rate. So we'll do a public float fire rate, and we'll just do that at like maybe every 3 seconds. We'll need a force amount. So again, we'll do a public float. Toss force. And I don't know, we'll start at like 300, 500, 300, just to be safe. Don't want to chuck it too far. And then to go with that fire rate, I'm going to go and do a private float for next fire. So the next time I'm allowed to fire my grenade, toss my grenade. All right, we'll keep that there. Don't think I'm going to need start for anything. Just going to got that. Then I'll update, kind of like we usually do. We're going to look for input. So if input, we'll get button down. And again, here you can, set it to Q or whatever. I'm just going to go ahead and keep it on fire 1 since I'm keeping this as a separate weapon slot. And then also I'm going to check if time is greater than next fire. So has it been enough time? Am I allowed to fire? So I'm counting that down. And if so, then I'm going to update my countdown on firing. So next fire equals this time plus again the fire rate. So I'm getting, right now, I'm adding 3 seconds, and then I'm checking that in the update. So is it the last time plus 3 seconds, can I fire again? All right. And then we'll just call into a new function that we're going to make called toss grenade, toss boom, throw, whatever. All right, there's our private method for tossing a grenade. And this, again, is going to be very much like the bullet instantiation we were making physical bullets. So instantiate new grenade. Then we'll want to toss it. Then we'll probably later we'll play a sound. Just a good throw sound. I think that's good enough for now. So to instantiate, make it a game object. Can't spell today. We'll call it a temp grenade and set that equal to instantiate grenade to throw. Thanks for knowing that much. And then we're going to use the toss origin. transform dot position. And did you just, wow, okay, interesting. Not what I want, but cool. Appreciate that. I'm going to use the toss origin. Transform dot rotation. And this is something I'm actually going to want to set up myself. So that's why I'm not using quaternion identity, which is just a rotation that has had nothing rotated on it. It's equal to like vector 0 or vector 3.0. It's just a bunch of zeros saying we're not rotated. All right, so we made a grenade. That was fun. Now we should toss it. So first I need to get the rigid body. Just call it temp RB equals, get it off the temp grenade, get component rigid body. Thanks. And then we'll force it. What do we call it? Toss force, throw force, toss force. Okay, so we make a grenade, we get its rigid body, and we're adding force forward from the toss origin transform. So it's starting where we're at. So I'm going to give it an empty like we did for the barrel of our gun, and then just kind of rotate it up. So I'm going to want to toss my grenade like, I don't know, 45 degrees up instead of straight forward. So I'll set that up, play a sound, and then we'll have the grenade delete itself, so we're not going to do the destroy temp grenade like we usually do up in here. That might be it for now until we decide to do some crazier stuff. Save that, go back to Unity. So I've got a grenade in hand on my first person controller. I should have done that in prefab mode. So I'm just going to apply that. I'll go into prefab mode and we'll check this out. So this guy needs, on the grenade, which is a child of the camera, we need the grenade to throw, and we need to toss origin, and then that's already set up. We can change those. So as a child of this, I'm just going to go ahead and create an empty. We are toss point. That should be sitting at 0, 0, and it's already setting forward for us. But I'm going to rotate this a little bit. So pull that up by like, we'll see what it looks like at a full negative 45. So again, that's going to be along the blue. So that's the direction I'm adding force. Instead of like straightforward like we do with the gun, I'm kind of tossing this up in the air a little bit from where we're at. That's great. Now I need an actual grenade. So I've got too much junk in here. I'm going to do game object, go to my root, create an empty. Just want someplace to put all my barrels. I'm going to reset that. Fold that up. These I'll play with later. I'm just pulling these down here. Okay, I don't have as much clogging my hierarchy root. All right, I'm going to get that same prefab. That's in, where'd it go? Sci-fi weapons. So we use this flash grenade. I'm just going to drag it into the scene. And then I'm going to make my own grenade prefab for this. So I'm going to come back here, drag this into my prefabs as an original prefab. And then on this guy, we're going to add stuff. So sphere collider makes sense for this. Like that could be a little bit bigger. Maybe that is right. Okay. Sphere collider seems to have found it just fine, and we'll just add a rigid body for now. For now, that's all we'll do. So we've got that. I don't need it in my scene anymore, but I do need to give it to my first-person controller to tell him this is what he's tossing. So on the sci-fi grenade, my prefabs, there's my flash grenade. So we'll just drag that up here to the grenade to throw, and then I'm going to give it the toss point. And it won't blow anything up yet. We'll add some more scripts. But, oh. What's happening? Okay, so it did run. All right, so I got this guy. If I hit fire, I'm tossing a grenade that looks just like the grenade that's in my hand. Oh, and I didn't fix that. So if I hit, I'm also crouching every time I hit control too. So let's fix that real quick. So in my first-person controller, so this is the one we got, the mini first-person. They make life really easy. And so the crouch script, I can just change what that is. What's a good crouch button? Yeah, that's what it was on. It was also my fire key. What is? Dang, it's like everything. That's a lot. Because that's what the default is in Unity. Yeah, I'm gonna set crouch to Q just to get that out of the way. All right. So now that I won't duck every time that I try to throw a grenade. Huh? Okay. So we're tossing. There's a few more things I want to do to that script that we had for tossing before we move on and make the grenade go boom boom. So let me go back here to this toss, and I'm going to add in a few more variables. I'm going to want an audio clip. Or just throw. We'll call it throw sound. And then I'm going to do some goofy stuff with the mesh renderer. We'll call it this mesh rend. All right. So we decided we want to play a cool sound, and this, I love this little feature of Unity because we can just instantiate a sound source, an audio source anywhere, tell it to play a sound, and as soon as it's done, it cleans itself up. It just goes away. So I don't have to worry about if this was the maybe we did this with bullets and some other things before, or pickups, where we were looking at, okay, we want to play a sound from this pickup, but we also just destroyed the pickup as soon as we ran into it. So the sound doesn't play because everything that was on it went away. So this just makes a brand new one, which is nice. So I'm just going to do audio source, play clip at, point, and then there we go. So I'm going to use the throw sound. Why? There we go. Okay. Thanks, autocomplete, for nothing. And we'll play it at. Do we need to do a whole position? Just give you the. Let me just see if this will work. Just give it the toss origin dot transform dot position. Fingers crossed. Yeah. Okay. That makes life easier. And then the other thing that I messed with was I gave us a mesh renderer. So what I'm going to want to do is when I toss the grenade, I want to hide the one in hand. This mesh rend, I'm just going to do enabled equals false. So we're going to hide the one in our hand so it looks like the one that we're just instantiating is the one that we had in our hand. And then we want to unhide after a time. And so to do that, we'll use a coroutine. So I'm going to start coroutine, which I haven't even made yet. Unhide after time. And I'll give it a time, which is going to be our fire rate. We've already got it. We might as well use it. I just need that coroutine. So drop down here. And this is the type IEnumerator. Hide after time, and we're going to pass in time as a float. Why do you not like that? Oh, because it's not returning anything yet. Interesting. Okay. Okay, so that's going to wait. And then once it's whatever time we set, then it'll do the rest of this. So I'm going to do this mesh renderer dot enabled equals true. So these are great for just delaying anything. So I'm using my fire rate. So whatever that is, once I'm able to throw a grenade again, then I'll unhide the one in my hand. So I'm calling this coroutine. I'm passing it the fire rate. And these IEnumerators, I think we looked at them a little bit before, but they're just cool. So whatever time I put here, literally it waits for that time before it does the rest of what's in this function. So we passed it fire rate, it's going to wait, and then it's going to say, okay, unhide the mesh. Anyway, I thought it was cool. Yeah, super useful. It's probably what's behind the scenes when we're saying destroy after a time. Yeah, it's usually a yeah. Yeah, so the destroy and then comma and then what time to destroy it is probably using an I enumerator behind the scenes somewhere. All right, so we go to prefab here. So we've got our flash grenade. And now we've got these. Is it wants the mesh renderer, which I'm literally just going to drag from here for our flash grenade, and we need a throw sound. And so I went and grabbed grenade sounds. It was free. Let me just hit the asset store and show you what that looks like. I'll link it in the Canvas page shortly, but all this stuff was free. I said yes. Take my not money. What? Oh, you got to spell it right. It's grenade, not grenade. And then those free, and then it's right here. So grenade sound effects. There's a whole bunch of cool stuff in here. So we'll just use one of those for our toss sound. Grenade sounds. This grenade is all the explosions and these different sounds. So we got impacts, we got throws. I'll just grab a throw. What's that sound like? Oh. Huh? That was thunder. Yeah, that was not my sound effect. No, OBS is eating my sound, so we can't hear him here. So it doesn't matter. We'll just pick one. All right, so throw 9 is what I've decided. And if you watch the video, it should play the sound, but we won't hear it in here. Okay, so it should throw the grenade. It'll hide the one in our hand, play a sound that we won't hear in here, and then unhide when it's time for us to be able to throw a grenade again. Yo, okay. Love the sphere collider. We can just watch him roll away. And you can change the angle of your toss origin. I think 45 kind of works for a, kind of lob softball throw. But now we need to change up our grenade. So the grenade needs to do the grenade things. So where'd that guy go? Here, sci-fi flash grenade. It's got their sphere collider and the rigid body. So we go into prefab mode on that. And we'll add a script. And we'll just call it grenade if we spell it right. Or explosion. We'll just call it grenade for now. The cool thing about what we're doing with this is we could also put this on like a rocket for a rocket launcher. All the same stuff. We just call it differently instead of a timer. Look at on our grenade. We just, if it's a rocket, say when you impact, then blow up. All right. We'll go into grenade. I'm just going to go through this line by line, so I don't need these. Don't think I do. And we just need lots of variables. So public, we'll do a float. Since this is a grenade and not a rocket, we're going to use a fuse timer. And we'll set that to like, I don't know, 2 seconds to start with. Private float, and we'll call this a cooldown. We won't set that to anything. Fun one, public float, and we call this a blast radius. And I think like 3 is good for that to start with. Okay. And so this is going to go out from the center of our grenade 3 units or 3 meters. So if you want to, you want to nuke, turn that blast radius way up. What is that noise? That's thunder. Okay, cool.
The previous one, I don't think it's the previous one. Might have been, and that one is
Okay. Now we'll do a float for blast force, explosion force, blast force. And why not 5,000? We can adjust that later. We want to make sure we can see what's happening. And then we'll do a public game object, same as we've done before with our guns on Tuesday. We're going to do particles. So do an explosion particle system that will instantiate. For that, I'm going to need a time to make the explosion go away. So we'll do a public float, and we'll just do an FX timer. And I don't know, like 1.5 might work. We'll adjust that later. We'll do an audio clip for the blast sound. So the other one was a throw, just like a. Now we'll need a sound that tells us the booms. And then just to make sure we don't overdo it, we'll do a private bool for has exploded. Default that to false, which I think if we don't give it a value, I think false is the default, but just so we know. All right, a lot of variables. So in start, I'm gonna do my countdown. Cooldown, maybe that's what I called it. Call it countdown. I thought that's what I intended. Maybe I just typed something wrong. Maybe Visual Studio was helping me. Minus equals time.delta time. No, not this wrong one. Here we go. I'm still in start. So countdown is going to equal the fuse timer to start with, and then an update. We can update that on. There we go. That's where I want. So whatever our timer is, we'll set that to begin with on start. And then an update will take away however much time it's been since the last update. So that's the minus equals time.delta time. And then if countdown is less than 0, we can do less than or equals to, but yeah, whatever. And it hasn't exploded yet. So not has exploded. Then we'll do cool stuff. And I don't know why it gave me an extra space in there. Why is it coloring like that? Okay. And then we will autocomplete since I haven't made it yet. All right, I'll make the function and then I'll call it. So we'll do private void explode. There we go. So now it'll let me autocomplete. So if the countdown's less than 0 and we haven't exploded yet, then we'll explode. So maybe the first thing to do would be to say has exploded equals true. Just so we don't do that again. And then same thing, we're going to do a game object, instantiate. explosion particles at our location. So wherever the grenade ended up at, position. And then also, here's where I want it to use the quaternion identity. So wherever the grenade ended up at, that position is where we want our blast particles to start from. And I'm using quaternion identity so that the blast particle is rotated the right way. It's just straight up. Because if this grenade's rolling, I don't want the blast to like go into the, the particles go into the cement or whatever. So quaternion identity is just saying, don't put a rotation on that guy. All right, so we'll let that play, and then right here underneath it, we'll just destroy the temp particle, and there's that after our FX timer. So make the particle and tell it to go away after whatever value we've got in there. So that's make pretty particles. Play scary sounds. Same thing, so play clip at point. Play our blast sound. At our origin. So transformed opposition. Now here's the fun part. So I'm going to create an array of colliders. So collider, and then there we go. Square bracket, close, and we'll call it colliders. And this is going to be anything that we find inside of physics. Physics, overlap, sphere. You can use a box. And then, thanks for the help. And then, yeah, my position, and then the blast radius. So wherever we're at, our position, the grenade, where it ended up, out from there, times our blast radius as a sphere, so 3 meters out. And then everything that it finds in there that has a collider, it's putting in this array. So everything within 3 meters of our grenade when it went off. And now we just got to do for each. Collider, collider, and colliders. We can name this something like impacted, whatever, call it whatever we want. That's what that is. So for each of those, we're going to first check and see if they've got a rigid body that we can mess with. So for all of those things, we'll see if they've got a rigid body. So if RB is not null, then we'll do cool stuff. Otherwise, leave it alone. Like, we're not going to blow the building off the street. So this one is fun. So RB, instead of add force, there's add explosion force. And we'll make that our blast force that we set to like 5,000, whatever we did before. Using our transform dot position as the center of that, and then the blast radius again. So if I'm not mistaken, this is going to apply that amount of force, from the center. And I think this blast radius is going to like decrease as it gets away from the origin. But let me just click on that to make sure. There we go. Add explosive force. Radius. It doesn't say if it's got to roll off or not. Oh, there's an extra upwards modifier that I'm not using. That's fun. All right, we'll come back here. So we just blew everything up. Super fun. And then once that's done, so we said we exploded, so it didn't happen again. We made our particles, we played our sound, we blew everything up. Now we just need to destroy the grenade. All right, so the grenade will go away, we'll see particles, we'll blow everything up. Super fun. All right, there we go. So that's grenade. It's already on grenade. For compile. There we go. Here's all our fun stuff. So we've got timers, blast radius, blast force. We just need to give it explosion particles and blast sounds. So I'm going to keep using these war FX. We've got explosions in here. That one's kind of fun. The last one had a lot of flames in it because it was a flame grenade. This one, yeah, just smoke, I think will work. So that's the third one in, called Explosion Simple. We'll use that for our flash grenade. Unless there's, so explosive smoke, big, smoke small, ground smoke, nuke, of course. Ooh, landmine, that's fun. Yeah, I like that one. So explosion simple. All right. Scroll all the way back, find my prefab, sci-fi flash grenade. Give it explosion simple, and then we just need a blast sound from my grenades pack. And I don't know, I'm just going to pick something. That one looks nice and scary. Yeah. Let's break the world. Okay, there's my grenade. Let's just set that to 300 for our blast radius. Which should impact me, because I'm a rigid body character. I love that I put the simplest explosion particles on it, and it's going to blow up everything. Pushed me back. Cars down the street are freaking out. Oh, it knocked down all those crates there from its explosion over here. The appropriate amount of chaos. All right, we have grenades. I haven't added that to the rubric yet, but that's definitely something going in there. The other thing we need to look at is 9-slice. I think I've got some tutorials and stuff here. There's a couple. We'll use those. I want you to add sound effects, add these. And so these are 9-slice images. You can watch this video. I just need somewhere that you use one of these. So this takes, I can find I'll just look this up. Here we go. Unity. So it takes an image and you set up these lines, basically kind of like a tic-tac-toe board on it, and then it will do. This is not the one I looked at earlier with all the examples. Thanks, Unity. I think it was a learn. Anyway, it's not it either. It's good for button backgrounds, menu backgrounds, and instead of stretching the whole thing out, it preserves your edges and corners and just stretches or tiles in the middle, which is really nice. So I don't use it often myself, but since it's on the exam, there's at least 1 or 2 questions on it. I want you to explore that and experiment with it. So that can be, if you've got a canvas, right, you can just do a big 9-slice panel on your screen that just says it's a background for what weapon you've got selected or some other UI element. Or if you're adding the pause feature, you can just have that as a big background element just in the pause screen with the 9-slice. But we won't get into that here. I'll let you figure that out and explore it, and I'll post some links.